change yourself to fit in. You get a big reaction, so popular. Consume as a loop in you. Consume as a loop in you. Be yourself, no one else.
Wasn't it the last one? I'd like, it was more so black and I had like a bit of blue on, like than that.
Aye.
Yeah. And the pink dot.
The Damien Duff one. That's how I remember that one.
Aye. Alan Smith for me as well a bit actually. Because actually I think more the fuck I was Smith on the back.
I did. That was
when he first signed on, he
loved him.
Because we didn't really need Smith, did we? Like at the time, it was kind of like the last. Because we already had like forwards and that. And you're like, oh, we've got Alan Smith. Oh, that's all right. Then the next thing you know, he turns up and he's got Smith on the back.
How much did we spend on Smith?
Oh, it wasn't much. I don't think. Well, we signed him as a striker, but at the time he was a fucking defensive midfielder, really, wasn't he?
I think he played everywhere.
Ferguson had just wrecked his career. He was playing him all over the place, right back, left back.
He was like centre mid, wasn't he? Because he had that game in the Champions League.
Because of Roy Keane, they lost Roy Keane. He tried to make Alan Smith, Roy Keane. I was like, I know you're good, Fergie, but no.
Where's he playing now? He's still playing, isn't he?
I don't know.
I'm sure I watched a game last season he was playing.
Oh, Smith?
Aye.
He was at Notts County, wasn't he?
Gotta be a
I don't think he is now.
Gotta be.
He definitely was last season.
I'm sure he was standing manager when Nolan
Notts County, there's Nolan in it. Nolan's lad.
He got sacked.
I know Nolan did, I know. So you're saying that Smith
I think he was playing there, right?
Yeah, he was playing at the same time.
So did Shola.
So Shola, Nolan and Smith were there at the same time.
Wow.
Getting the boys back together.
Getting the band back together.
That's good crap, that thing.
It was a shit band.
Right, everyone.
Sorry, good evening.
Welcome to the Alice Man of Faces podcast. This is going to be a reaction to the defeat for Leicester City.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
The game where all three were, when Mark was here, said a 1-0 win to Newcastle United. But, do you see what someone tweeted earlier?
No.
I think it was on the, might have been a tweet, you might have commented on the YouTube video saying 55 seconds, perfect. 55 seconds in, you go 2-0 Leicester.
Oh, do I? That's what I really
just taking the piss, 2-0 Leicester.
I was probably so negative throughout the whole podcast, I just tried to end positively, but really I thought we were going to get 2-0.
Got the first goal scorer, Jimmy Vardy with her.
I knew that was coming. I was thinking when you were thinking, I was thinking, oh, he's invited us, and then I was thinking it's probably because that Leicester game and that kid who put that comment on the last game sounded like Jamie Vardy. I was thinking, is it just some sort of fucking...
Have you had that often? Have you had it before?
Nah. Actually, I have had that quite a bit.
You should have definitely had blue wicket.
Actually, I've had it quite a bit.
You should have had blue wicket, shouldn't you? That would have been amazing. You just sitting there with the blue wicket.
It's just more Leicester top, shouldn't I? Just sat like that for the whole thing. I don't think I look like him, but...
Izzy's back with her.
You don't actually be good.
But what we'll do, we'll put a poll on later to see if you look like Jimmy Vardy.
There's only one comment of one person, like...
People are twats, so it'll be a yes.
Aye, it will be, aye.
It's like
all they'll think about, all they'll just think of loads of random lookalikes, and then fucking it'll get like fucking.
And none of them will be good.
It'll be like fucking sloth and fucking shit like that.
Mark said he looked like meatloaf.
Fucking hell, man.
Poor sod.
Who said that?
Just someone just commented and seen.
He actually looks nothing like Meatloaf's got hair. Meatloaf doesn't have a beard. Like that's what is the
He does like nothing like
him at all, is he?
Meatloaf or Fight Club? Is he Meatloaf or Fight Club? He's not in Fight Club, is he?
Aye, that was a bad one, yeah. Aye.
So shall we get talking about the football then?
Well, the lack of it, aye.
So starting 11, the day before the game, the news broke that we're missing half the team.
Yeah, because our predictions would have been totally different, I think, if we had knew what the team was going to be. Like, we didn't know Dummett was injured and Fernandez was out. I certainly didn't know that. So that shocked me a bit.
Yeah, if we knew that, we would have said 2-0 Leicester.
Because Rafa's press conference he never mentioned anything about injuries. It wasn't until I think the Saturday when I think
it was like the Saturday morning, I think I heard.
I think it was Thursday night. There's rumours going around saying that there's going to be massive injury news coming.
Because Shedlin was hitting this as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Aye, he was, aye. Yeah,
so we're back 5, really, though, in the game. It wasn't really... I don't think they've really done much wrong.
Because I didn't think Leicester did that much right either. Like, I didn't really think them were very good either. Honestly, I didn't. I thought, like... yes, you can always say they were comfortable winning the game, but, like, they never really... I never felt on the back... Like, massively on the back foot, hanging on at any point in that match, like. At any point.
Like, they've got that spine, though, haven't they, Leicester?
Aye.
When you look at the team.
So, Rondon was obviously injured again. Oh, God. He's turning a bit like Smalley, isn't it?
Fuck's sake, man.
It's like absolutely horrendous, isn't it?
Honestly, I didn't know.
I would love to know where where Rondon was on Rafa's list. Like how far down he was.
Well, he seemed to be linked with him for the majority of the summer.
That's what I mean.
So he must have been quite high up it, and there was that much of a a pressure to get him and sign him that he wanted him so much that it went on and on and on and on, and then eventually it was done.
He's willing to lose a striker in Gale to get him in.
Aye, and get a loan in.
To get a loan in.
Number 9's a loan, man.
I don't.
Gale's on
Number
loan,
9's a
isn't
loan.
he? Gale's on loan.
Gale's on loan, yeah.
Yeah, the straight swap one.
Straight swap, yeah. Which I
Can
think.
we swap
Which
him back?
Shire now, which hasn't worked out.
Is there a chance of swapping him back?
Well, I said
If you had the option now, would you?
No. Aye.
Probably because
Yeah, definitely. I never wanted to get rid of Gale in the first place. Like I know he's not like next level, is he? He's never going to take it to the next level, but I don't think he was bad enough to get rid of.
He gives you something extra though.
Aye, of course he does.
Than what we've got on the pitch.
Aye.
Like I was saying before, though, Gale's that type of player. Just Championship is his level.
Aye. Oh, I can't.
You can just tell that. Like
he's thriving and he's
100%.
loving it,
It's
isn't he?
crazy though because he's banging in free kicks and that at the weekend, which fucking
He's a.
he
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
do something
for
for us, and the goal he scored the week before that,
I hate to say this,
turn around the keeper and stuff.
We've
like
got
that.
a history now of like I see players play for other teams and then we get them and we just seem to like coach that out of them. Like
Aye.
whenever they're like, I see,
No, what you were doing before, don't do that.
I don't do any of that. Like you see that goal he scored. It
was unbelievable.
He wouldn't have done that for us, man.
Nah,
he would have been told to like pass or sit back or something. Man. He wouldn't be allowed to do that.
I would have been the fault.
But you know, it's just I personally definitely wouldn't have gotten rid of him. Like to be honest, like I haven't getting rid of him. I just mean
Let him go.
we're already
So
short on
desperate.
numbers. We're already short on numbers, and I just feel getting rid of him was stupid. But
Hindsight's a great thing though, isn't it? Like, no one expected Ronaldo to be injured for the majority of the games. He's still not fit. I don't know when he's going to get fit because he's never going to get a chance of getting to run in the games if he keeps getting injured.
Rafa said that he wasn't fit when he arrived and stuff, wasn't he? He was like,
Well, he looked a bit heavy, didn't he?
he did, like, he did. I just think, well, why bother then? Why? I mean, don't get us wrong, it's a long season. It's a long season, so of course he could.
You see, he was on the bench for quite a bit though, didn't he? And he was getting these like bit part coming on and things like that, doing like a 5-10 minute gap, and then
Like a bouncer.
not
when he come on.
Aye. Then he put him on
Oh, he
against
running
Forest. He
over, like-
scored against Forest, and then
Yeah.
again, I think he started. Did he start the game after that?
I think he's only started two. Has he only started 2 games for it?
I don't think he started after
Started
Forest.
Chelsea,
came on
didn't he?
as a sub for Forest. Then he started against Chelsea, I think.
Because he brought Hossley on and Hossley scored.
Yeah, because he got subbed off at half time.
Oh, the Palace.
Palace one, he got subbed at half time.
Because Palace was
Two.
the strongest team in theory that we have.
Yeah.
And then he unfortunately he came off. But I mean, honestly, like, I think unless Rondon is Shearer, Remy, all in one, and Henry all in one, it doesn't make any fucking difference because we're not getting people close enough to help him. Like, so he can hold the ball up and hold off every defender in the world, but he cannot. There's no one there to support him. You need someone alongside him, man.
So in midfield was Atsu returned, which is what you wanted to see. Richie was on the right wing.
I got hung out to dry for that as well. People just fucking hang out to dry, don't they? Do you know what I mean? They just hang
You
out.
can't say it now.
That's
Can you?
because
Can't say it now.
what you said.
Whatever you say
for
it.
him to play over Murphy.
I probably did say that. Yeah.
We stand by that now.
I think
My new game.
I actually thought Atu got a hard time actually on Saturday. I thought every time he got the ball, he tried to beat a man. Every single time he got the ball. Not saying he beat the man, but every time he tried to beat the man. In the same
it's like
scenario.
me when I used to go and try and pull.
The same,
You just keep trying.
Keep trying.
the same scenario happened for what happens with Murphy as well. And this is even mad. Kennedy in the team, which surprises greatly. The amount of times Atu got the ball and had 2 to beat. Every time he got the ball, he had their right winger and their right back. And I kept thinking, well, you got Kennedy there. Kennedy's bound to be bombing on. He never did it once.
What was Rafa doing?
This. That's all he ever does. It's true. But
Oh shit, Tino's fucked off.
No, Tino's gone.
sorry, Tino. I'm not saying Atu played well at all. I am not. All I'm trying to say is that every time he got the ball, he tried to go forward with the ball. Tried. Didn't work. Don't get us wrong. Had a few times where he beat a few men, but one man in that game wasn't saving him. You need, one man is not going to. You need Messi in that game.
So up top, we had Joslu starting again. The only option that we've got when
How
Rondon
shit's
isn't
that?
playing, and
How shit is that?
Perez.
Thing
behind
is,
him.
we've got that Muto as well because apparently he played up front for the team that we're signing him from. So,
Well, Rafa doesn't see him.
well, he just doesn't see him.
Why
Outside, he
not?
sees him as the number 10, doesn't he?
No, I think. Sorry, the other way. He doesn't see him as a number 10. Is that Dennis Wise again?
I tried to catch one last week as well.
He doesn't see him as a number 10.
I don't know what he sees him
What
as.
he sees him as, I don't
'cause,
know. I don't
The
know.
thing is, right, and I get it to a certain extent. There was loads of complaints from the likes of Rafa and the coach and staff and the players saying that the investment wasn't there. and they're failing to bring players in. The players that have been brought in aren't really getting a game. So, granted, Fernandez is. Okay, so you've got Shaw.
Shaw isn't really.
So Clark's getting a game ahead of Shaw. And you've got Mutu and Perez are starting over. Perez is starting over Mutu. So you think, like, which way do we go? Because you've spent the money on these players. At least give them
I agree
some
totally.
chance there.
I agree totally. You see, you'll get the argument from some fans saying, oh, well, did he really buy them players? Is that who he really wanted?
But on his list.
He wanted them. Exactly, he wanted them.
Exactly, if he didn't want them, he would have said he wouldn't want them.
Of course. We're not signing players he doesn't want. It's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad. You know, it's not like a Keegan situation where he's turning up with someone from future.
Signing players a bit further down the list.
They're just a bit further down the list. But
it's like me when I used to get the kebab shop after a night out.
Yes, but can you imagine though? I mean, I don't know what type of message that sends to the new signings. They might not be ready and all the rest of it, but Mutu must be sitting on that bench thinking, I can't even get on now.
Well, Mark made a good point. We'll get on a bit further, a bit more detail when we get further on the podcast. He said when we were doing like a reaction straight after the match, me and Mark, he said Perez done more, Mutu done more things with his first 4 touches than what Perez done for the full time.
The best part of that game was that tackle he made when he come on. That was the
most
most excitement I got from the game. Was that one part? He chased the lad down, tackled him, and we were instantly on the front foot.
It's crazy when you think about it though, because I don't even know why you could see that we were going to get a win. Or I don't know if it was just more of a hope.
I think it was just hope.
Because
I think it was just blind hope.
I think just where they see the logic that the last few games that we've played, where we've played so negative in games, we can just go, right, now we're playing a team which is more of a winnable game, let's just switch to positive. Like it's that simple.
I didn't think
that isn't how it's going to work.
I didn't think it would be like all out attack. Like I thought it would still be shit to watch, but I thought we might grind something out. Like I never expected that we're going to, really.
The only thing I could see was a draw more than anything. Like I couldn't see where the goals were going to come from, and obviously
which
they didn't come.
Well, I've said this for 2 years. I always worry about 2 years. Well, not championship. No, sorry, no championship. I always knew would score.
The championship was scored, but we weren't like wild.
Certainly, the game, the season after, I says, well, we're not scoring enough goals. We did.
Well, even last season, to an extent, we went from it was about 3 months without winning at home, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was quite a long time from winning at home, and you didn't see where the goals were going to come from then.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and then it turned around at the latter part.
And you got a bit of luck in them games, the Liverpool game at home. When someone's kicking off, you're shin the guy.
Exactly.
We haven't got that luck at the moment. Going back to the actual game itself, that chance Joselu had, he got played in. Lovely ball from Perez, to be honest. It was the only decent move of the game. And he got into the box and he took a touch and set himself. And he took another one. And then he took another one. And he was in the 6-yard box.
Towards Lee's end?
Yes. And then he took another one. And then by that time, Maguire got back and tackled him. The crowd were really fucking
rightly so.
And that's a... I know you can talk about money and lack of all of it, but that to me was a lack of pure confidence, wasn't it? It was like, fuck, I'm in here. I'm in. And he
just shut himself.
Why on earth would you not shoot there, though? Like, why would you just head down and just toe punt? And if that's the case, you're 6 yards out.
went through a spell doing that. The first season we had him, where he was through on goal, and he just used to not know what to do with him, just keep on running. Mirovic went through a spell doing that.
No, it's awful.
It's strange with Perez, though. I don't know if it's just the case, because obviously he's playing so much, maybe he just thinks I'm not at risk of losing my place, so maybe he's not giving that effort that he needs to give.
We've said so many times over the years about some of our players, though, that they feel as if they're untouchable in regards to there's no one there to challenge him. I think Kroll went through that spell, where he had no one there. Then obviously through the ranks started coming.
Perez just seems to be getting through games, and I can't get any logic as to why.
Yeah,
I think the place where we've got most competition in the squad right now is probably centre back. There's a shitload of them, and your wingers, but are any of the wingers that good?
They're shite.
The best one.
Sit on the fence a bit. The shite.
The best one's Richie, and that says it all.
I know.
To be fair,
so we were looking at getting rid of
in this massive uproar. Exactly.
Yeah.
And when it was looking like he was going to go and Townsend was going to come in, everyone was like, "Oh, well, we'll do that swap." Townsend's more of a threat. He caused more bother, stuff like that. Then Richie stayed, and now it's like when Richie's going off, it's uproar, and you think fans are kicking off because Richie's going off.
Yeah.
Start the season, you were kind of thinking, he's done his part. Maybe it's time to now. Like if the money was there, you were making signs. You think like, now it's time for him to go.
No, I agree. But looking back now, would have been an absolutely ridiculous decision. Wouldn't
it would have been ridiculous now when you look at it.
Where we are now.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten rid of it. I would like to have both of them, to be honest with you. But maybe I'm looking more at the progression of a squad in the real terms of like.
I don't think
because I would have rather had Gale run.
I think when you look at it, and I think in the summer though, it was like Richie was linked with Stoke, wasn't it?
Stoke,
and it was like 15 million for him, and you could get Townsend for kind of roughly the same price.
Well, I think it was more like 15 million for him.
Yeah, well, I'd do the swap.
Oh yeah.
I was shocked that the 15 million price tag was going around for Richie.
Like for him to go back to the Championship, he wins you the league, doesn't it? Really, it's like when we signed him and Gale.
Yeah.
That's kind of. If you get a player in like that,
both very clever.
Stoke could have definitely done with Richie.
Aye.
I mean, I know we'll probably come on to it, but about the substitution, obviously, we'll get there. I felt everyone around me was obviously going mental. Like, they were going absolutely ballistic. And I actually didn't think he had done very much in the game anyway.
I don't think he had done really much,
honest,
but at the same time, Atsu was blowing out of his arse.
Because he was...
Do you think it's more the fact that he keeps doing the same change?
Yeah. It's
like
always him now, isn't it?
No, it's like the textbook change.
Well, even he laughed and he went, what for now? Like, he laughed at Rafa and he went, well, what for? And I was like, because I seen it quite clearly. I'm not saying I read his lips from where I was, but you could see that he kind of like
I thought what was going to happen.
What have I done now?
We're going to take Atsu off, shift Perez over to the wing, then just have... It was Murphy that came on, was it? Was it Murphy that came on?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And I just thought they would have Murphy just running wherever you wanted to go, basically. It didn't happen. Atsu stayed on it. Honestly, Atsu was knackered.
He was fucked.
Like, absolutely knackered.
There was one part, and I thought he did quite well on this one.
When was the last time he played, though?
He came back from injury, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, no.
Aye.
And
he's put him on for a full 90.
He got the ball and he beat a player, I think he did anyway. He had fuck all way to go. Tried to beat him and lost it. And then he had to chase back and he won it back again. And then he passed it and he was literally, at that point there, was fucked.
Yeah.
Like, because he was trying his best to make things happen. He didn't do anything, but he was trying to make things happen. And I thought, I said to down, he hasn't played enough to keep running down this wing like this. He just hasn't. He was just constantly bombing down the wing.
In the last season, where Kennedy was doing the same.
Aye.
Kennedy was absolutely
and
he was
pretty much every
running
game
back to defend.
Yeah.
And he looked. At one point, looked over the bench, and he went like that.
He didn't take him off.
Didn't take him off.
Probably
took Richie off.
I was well, it was a funny one because when Kennedy was put at left back, it was against everything that Rafa is, if that makes sense, because normally we're back fours so
solid.
Dummer doesn't move, and he had Kennedy then. I thought, hey, him and Atsu might cause him a bit of trouble.
Maybe a link up play and overlap and stuff like that.
Didn't move.
Kennedy didn't move once. But is that not because Rafa's telling him not to move, or is that because he just can't be arsed? I don't know. Kennedy looked disinterested a lot of the times for me in that game.
At that point of the game, that decision again, where you think these wing backs and like say Yedlin and Kennedy, how much pace have those two got?
I know.
Why are they not pushing up the pitch?
Hey,
have they been told to stay back?
Yedlin went forward once and when he scored. Do you see when he just bombed on and then he cut inside and I think he passed it to maybe Yoslu, I think, and he smashed it and hit somebody. And I literally said, I was like, well, that's what you want.
The City game showed it can be done. If he gets forward, he can get goals, but
one time in 90
I
minutes,
think it is more of a case at the top, not to tell them not to get forward, sit into it. It's all about Rafa's don't concede. We don't want to concede, or we don't want to be out of place in case we do concede.
What game was it? Who do we play after Spurs?
Cardiff away,
aye.
Then who was it? Next away game?
Palace? Man City?
No, Man City, aye.
Was that away?
I can't remember what game. I can't remember. I should know. But I was watching the game and we're defending. It was just a solid line. The defenders were just moving in a line, then going back in a line. Like just not breaking that formation.
When you haven't got the ball, that's tremendous. If you can... I remember last year, the partnership Lejeune and Lascelles had...
It was the game where we didn't get one half.
They were actually stepping at literally the same time. Like, it was amazing. That's amazing, be drilled for offsides and all the rest of it. However, when we have the ball...
Bit freedom.
Fucking how
express yourself, get forward.
A little bit.
Take some chances.
And
have one shot on target.
From the halfway line, that?
From the halfway line?
Only shot on target in the whole game.
Came from own half.
It's fucking
own half. How bad is that?
It was a good effort.
To be fair,
it was a good effort.
But how bad is that? We nearly scored from own half. Only chance about all game. That's absolutely shocking.
It was shite, man. I keep saying it. I've said it week after week.
Got to test teams like Leicester. I didn't get us wrong. They have got some good players, and like I say, they've got the spine there. They've got like Schmeichel. Then they've got Maguire's good. Madison's a good player.
Do you know who his dad is?
Who's?
Michael's.
It was just a joke. No, it was just a joke we had on the last one. No, it was last season, wasn't it? When
it's when he was just arguing with Lascelles.
He was arguing with Lascelles and Schmeichel just come running over from everywhere, and I was like, he probably went over and went, do you know what
I probably.
But
right, Madison, 40. They've got that spine in the eyes. A really good player. But that's the difference though. when you look at Leicester last season, where they finished last season, was it 9th or 8th or something?
No idea.
So, well, say they finished...
Close to us, like...
It was close to us, one, so they finished 8th. Then they can go out in the summer and they can spend 20+ million on a kid from the Championship who's potentially this good player.
It's probably the same
we
way
sell, I'm not saying the Mitrovic thing, but we sell Mitrovic for 20 odd million, but that we can't invest that in anything. We can't take that chance anyway. They've sold Mahrez and they've brought in him. They've brought in, what's that kid called? The kid who played in midfield? Can't remember his name.
I can't remember either.
He had a good game as
well.
well.
I know what you mean, though. Aye.
They're spending the money. They're spending the money that they get. That obviously they're losing a massive player like Mahrez, who was probably one of the main players in the team.
Right, is he?
And they've replaced him with Maddison.
Yeah.
Who's on the fringe of the English.
It's probably the route we should have probably went down when we linked with Tom Kearney from Fulham.
Yeah.
And they just said, 20 million, you can have him. And we're like, nah, not paying 20 million for him.
Yeah.
It's the going rate.
Exactly.
We won't pay the going rate, which is where the problems lie, really, isn't it?
It's fucking weird.
We're hanging on to the likes of, don't get us wrong, he's done alright on Saturday, the Army, we're hanging on to players like that.
I honestly thought he was the only one.
It was a £2.5 million signing.
Yeah.
I honestly thought he was the only one on Saturday that was actually trying to close someone down. And I'm not saying he played well, I'm not. What I mean
but he's
trying to close people down. He committed a few fouls because he's just getting overrun. They were passing it around him in circles, and there was a few times he was trying his best to, break the play up. And I honestly thought he was the only one out of that.
The worrying thing for me is when Clark starts a game, he just lumps it forward every single time.
Well,
and when you've got defenders like Maguire and Morgan up there, you're thinking, Oslu's never going to get a chance up here. Like,
in fairness to Clark's just that backup defender, isn't he?
Is he though? Because he. Why is he starting over Shaw?
Well, that's it. That's the problem.
That's what you like. How I'm thinking.
When you got an international defender, but
so you think, you bring Shaw in, so who's got a lot more experience, you'd say, than.
You'd happily have Clark as backup.
Yeah,
but like you say, you wouldn't have him in ahead of someone that you've just signed who's supposed to be this international who's played in the World Cup.
Exactly. Like Clark's the type of player. If you're really struggling, you think he can't slot in anyway. If you want to play right back, you'll play right back. Across anywhere across the defence, you'll sit and play there.
Yeah, I get that.
But why is Shaw not getting involved? Like, you bring a player in, like you say, an international player, experienced, he was playing at the World Cup, wasn't he?
He was,
and then he doesn't play.
It seems like it seems that everyone who's came in, they're just not playing.
I know.
It's shit.
And I don't think it's a fact because of a talent. Like,
it can't be, can it?
It can't
be that they're all coming in and they're all looking shite.
I know Rafa said, didn't he, a lot of them, some of them take longer than others to get used to the league or whatever it is. Now,
there's only one way you're going to get used to the league, though.
You've got to play a game.
Play the games.
You've got to play a game. And I just... do you know what's funny, right? When you haven't won in 8 games or however long it's been, if we get beat on Saturday, which, let's be fair, it probably will, that's the same as McLaren. So it's as worse as... We hadn't won a game for 9 games under McLaren, and it'll be the same coming. And, like, you have to start changing it up now. Like, what have you got to lose? You can't play 4-4-1-1 again with Perez and Oslo in front again, expecting it all to be changing. I think what we do in training, I don't know. I don't know. I feel we'll have one game, then I watch for the next week. It's just like it's half time in the last game. Like, I don't see anything. I don't even see the free kicks change. I don't see a throw in. I see no clue of anything that we learn or train about. I just don't know
what goes on, do you?
I don't know.
You think they'd go into training and you think they'd actually say, right, we haven't won in 7 games.
Aye.
This formation isn't working. Aye. This team isn't working. Let's try this formation. Let's try these players.
Aye. Let's try something.
Let's try something different.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, we'll go back.
And if it doesn't work, we'll go back.
What happened? We got that. It happened 3 times. We got a free kick, and that's a difficult position to get one. You get a free kick. Shelby took it, right. It's quite central, and he fired it. We used to do this in a Pardew. We used to do this with Pardew, right. You'd lump it to the back post for Meg Williamson to come across. And what did Shelby do? To the cells across. How have we not moved on from that? Like, we haven't even got anyone that was linked with Pardew in them days. And you're telling me, Rafa and his coaches go, I think what we should do here is lump to the back post and get it across. And every time what happens, it goes out for a goal.
Do you think it's a point where...
Which you said before.
Where Rafa goes and tells them something, as soon as they get on that pitch, everything goes out the window? Or do you think it's a bit of both?
No, I think
they're doing what he's telling them to do.
I do as well.
Do you think they're just not good enough to do it?
Because I think if they weren't, then he'd probably take them out of the team. Because I think he's that type of manager, isn't he?
Yeah.
I just don't understand why he's not changing it. That flies to me, Dennis Wise. I missed.
I think Rafa judges them more on you know, like positionally, like or the where they need to be at
Or the
whatever
listen to what
time.
I'm telling them.
Aye, and there's a lot of time. I think we got beat the other week, and he was like, "No, I was really happy with what they were doing." So I think he tends to always say like, "Oh, they just need confidence, and it'll come and it'll come."
I agree they
You know,
need
and
confidence.
I think they do.
Like,
Like,
the whole team's absolutely struggling to bit with everything.
but you're not
Simplest
going to
things.
get confidence by
saying
sending out
that
the same team every
after
every
the
week.
game on, he was saying that the January last year we were in the bottom 5 and ended up finishing 10th, and I think he's just hoping with the same sort of push on at some point.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to happen after the Man United
Just
game with
waiting
these
for
10
that-
games or
just
something,
waiting
it's
for
just
that tiny bit of sport that we need.
Aye,
then-
but
then
His
things-
last press conference, I
where you
watched
going
the
to get
full lot.
where you going to get the spark from though when
He
it's
mentioned
so
Brighton.
negative?
He said Brighton. He said from Brighton onwards is when it has to start. So he was almost not saying he was writing off Man United, but he was saying after Man United we'll have a break and then we've
It was
got
a Man
Brighton.
United game that kick-started last time, wasn't it?
At home it was. At home it
was, aye.
And let's be fair, if you're ever going to play Man United, this is the time. They're dog shit. Let's be fair. They hate Mourinho. The players don't. Some of them didn't probably want to be there. So if there's ever a chance to play Man United, it probably is now.
You
I'd love
need,
to
you
be
need to
flying
win
the
that
ball,
game
like.
that you don't expect to win because
To give everyone a
there was
flying
that, like I say, there was that part last season for 3 months where we weren't winning at home and we were drawn with the likes of Brighton and Swansea at home. We were getting beat by Bournemouth and you were thinking, fuck me, man, it's just not coming.
Was that the shit spell? that
And then
followed the
we
decent-
played Man United and it was
Aye.
like, we're going to get fucking battered. We're not going to win this game. You end up winning it 1-0, turns your season round, and that's what we need. We just need
We
that
scored the last time at Man
new
United
game
away.
changer.
It was Dwight Gale, like, but we scored.
Aye, and then we shit ourselves and went, oh, sorry for scoring.
We did, didn't we? We
Did the same
actually did.
against Chelsea as well.
Aye, we
Took
actually
lead
did.
against them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry for scoring.
Oh, that was Gale again.
Gale again, huh?
Gale again.
I just prodded the beast.
Hey, we did that game. Remember when Hayden totally got shit scared of Pogba? I was like, you got Minty, I'm really sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Fucking
Sorry for taking the 1-0 lead. We'll just
That was
fucking...
terrible, that. Terrible. But yeah. The Saturday was. Can you remember it being as bad as that? Like in recent memory, I can't. You know, in
think
terms
it was-
of a performance.
I
that
think
was
most fans were probably at the point where they probably woke up on Saturday morning thinking, I can't even be arsed to go.
I got to that point. Yeah, I did. I stayed right till the end. I enjoyed some of the Ashley's chants. I thought they were quite funny.
There was Keegan chance as well.
Yeah, there was a few Keegan
chance
ones.
and Shearer chance.
Did he?
which
Yeah,
I've
that
heard
one-
those for a
what was
long
it?
time.
Hey God, so your badges and your pen or
You
something.
can shove your fucking badges up your ass and your pen.
That was quite funny. That was quite funny. But like, I mean, it was surprising to see him there anyway. I mean, it's his first game since May 2017, wasn't it, or something? So surprised he was
But
even
the
there. actually.
Gutierrez one.
I think
West Ham game.
the last game he was there was that, which is
The
surprising.
last
why-
game he was at...
Home game, I think so, yeah.
Aye,
hell.
May
Could be
2017.
wrong, but I'm sure.
I don't know why he chose that one to come back, like, but he's trying to build a relationship. He's taking off a pizza and he's trying to like.
He's doing something. And
He's trying to build a relationship.
There's something happening behind the scenes. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
what, this takeover?
Not even that, mate. Like the whole thing, like taking them out for a meal. Like what the fuck's that going to achieve?
I don't know. I don't know. The only thing that if he
Taking
goes
them
out
for
there.
fucking pizza isn't going to make them fucking play better, is it?
Well, if he tells he's selling the club, if he turns up and goes, "Listen, lads, pizza's on me. Get your kebab pizzas and your garlic. I'm selling the club." Fuck me. You know what I mean? Well, then you look the sales might hit him. You never know.
It's not happening, is it? I can't see it. I can't see this club being sold anytime soon. We both fell for the whole thing with Staveley last season. This time last season, we were sat here. I fucking
thing is with Kenyon as well.
What about-
Peter Kenyon's the chief executive. He's
What about
not,
Kenyon on there?
he's not a
That's what-
multi-millionaire.
yeah.
So you need to know who his consortium
Exactly.
is, which hasn't even been mentioned.
Nah.
Kenyon's not actually come out and said he's interested
It's
in buying
Rockefellers,
the
isn't
club.
it? Rockefellers and the one who did
Vince McMahon.
Oh God, I was going to say something, but I shouldn't have said that. But I'm said it. It's all right. I'm all right. I said it. It's fine. It's fine.
Vince McMahon.
Fine. I'll tell you off here. Aye. Yeah. So I don't know about that one. I just thought it was. I'm not gonna lie. When my phone flicked on and said Sky News and they'd said that, I was like, "Fuck, that's like amazing." Like, you know what I
Falling
mean?
for it again.
And I always will. I always will. I'll always fall for it. I just will. And
You're always going to
people-
be intrigued, aren't you? You're not going to go,
Aye.
oh, that's just bollocks. You're going to read into it.
I've seen loads of
and see
tweets
what
going,
it
it's a load of bullshit, it's all PR, blah, blah, blah. Probably the secretly in bed guy, I fucking hope it's true.
When are renewals
Everyone
due?
is, man. I didn't even know, man. I didn't know.
Say it soon.
Must be a while. I'll not be fucking going back with you, mate, like, to be honest with you. I'm so pissed off at the moment, you know. Honestly, I'm so pissed off.
As much as that kid with the glasses who was on Newcastle fans TV.
How fake was that? Like that was like forced anger, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's fucking brilliant.
So forced.
Absolutely brilliant, man.
If anyone hasn't seen it, I think we retweeted on our the podcast timeline yesterday. Have a look back. It's the most funniest thing you'll see.
What is it? He's taken our two best players off, Richie and Perez.
Aye,
I replaced them with nothing.
Yeah, it
We
was
can't
funny.
score fucking goals when we need to fucking score them.
If he thinks Richie and Perez are our two best players, he's got some
anyone's locked
fucking
up.
serious
Anyone's
issues.
locked
Like.
When he said Perez, that's company.
Did you see the picture someone put underneath of just someone carrying out a fucking plastic bag full of like laptops and things like that, dragging them into somebody's car? Fucking poor
It was
kid.
like a promo for a wrestling fucking pay-per-view, wasn't it?
He was like a shit version of The Rock, wasn't he? He was like that kid looking at the screen, giving the claps like that.
He keep telling me, no, you can't. I'm not finished yet. Like, and then he
now you can answer the next question.
Then he finished. It was
You
like,
could just imagine some other little weirdo coming up and like start bashing him from behind with a chair.
like, what did you? When you left the ground, though, what did you feel like? Like, honestly, what did you? When you left, what did you think? What was you?
Do you know what it is? I'm at the point now where I'm sick of it all. Like
Aye.
in the past, I used to come out fuming and like
because that's what I used to be like
full of anger, and I'm at the point now where I'm just.
It's because you have the same argument, don't you? And you have the same
Yeah.
scenario every time you go. Like
I come back here,
you come back,
have the same conversation.
You have the same conversation, and you just think pointless giving a shit. Like, why walk out and go? Why is he not changing the fucking team? Why is he playing Hosselu and Perez every game? He's gonna do it, and then you say that after every game, and you just think, fuck.
I
Can't even be asked to argue about it anymore. It is what it is.
That's what it is, isn't it? I think a lot of people.
I think a lot of people
now
like
think, like what?
But he is starting to get a bit
of
criticism, Rafa.
I think we've always said that just because it's Rafa.
But I know
Benitez,
that-
and
I know a lot of
he's
people-
the best that we're going to get at this moment in time in regards of calibre of manager.
Yeah, of course he is.
But of course he's going to get criticism. It's only right that we criticise him. We criticise the players. Why can't we criticise the manager?
Definitely.
And
Well, he had this team winning last year.
I think what it
winning
boils
games
down
last
to, the
year,
people,
so-
I know a lot of people, like, if you do say something bad about Rafa, everyone's like on your case.
of course
and stuff
they
like
are,
that.
because the feel is.
But
like
I think
it's a
then
choice
people, I
between
think,
him or Ashley,
no, I
that's
think the
why.
biggest thing is when you see like the flags and stuff like that. There's the flag with Rafa and it says hope underneath it, and I think that's all it is. I think some fans are like generally just hope for a takeover, hope he gets the money, because if he does get the money, he gets the investment. You couldn't ask probably for a better manager to be there to take you to that next level. But until he gets it, it's kind of like everything's just negative with him.
I think that tweet that you
And
put out
that's-
on, was it Saturday you put out about
Chris Hughton.
Chris Hughton?
Yeah.
Like that was like perfect. Like
But I think that's
screenshot
right.
and
I
sent straight
think
in, and I
to
said,
let
like,
everyone know
spot
what it
on.
was all about.
I think
That
that's.
can't remember.
Well, no, I can't remember what I wrote now.
Do you want us to get? Because
Yeah,
I
go
sent
on.
him straight
Go
away,
on,
and I was
say
like,
it.
"This is spot on."
See
This
if you
was-
jog remember. I
To be
don't
in
know
the
that.
podcast group. It was in
Okay,
regards
I'm gonna
to Houghton doing better with worse players. In regards of
The thing is with Houghton,
Oh, shit.
it was obviously when we went down that season, it was kind of everyone thought Shearer was going to get the job, and then he kind of bypassed Shearer and give it to Houghton. And then, but Houghton had to build a team out of people that.
Can I read it?
Chris Hughton was more of a savior for Newcastle, literally moulded a team out of nothing, brought them straight back up. If he didn't win his first 7 matches, there would be criticism by fans 100%. So let's stop fucking Rafa and making him out to be Jesus Christ. It's true though,
you've got a point what you're
because
saying, mate. You have.
it is a case that it seems with some people that Rafa's just
Can't do no
he
wrong.
can't do no wrong, but he can, and he needs to be
And he has.
criticised when he's doing bad. I'm not saying get rid of him, I'm not saying sack him, but everyone
the
thinks
thing,
that,
though.
and that's what I mean.
That's the
People will
thing.
pine you and think, fucking,
you
what you
want
saying
Nigel
that
back?
for? What do you want? Who?
Do you want Chris Hughton back?
Who do you want? Do you want Nigel Pearson in charge?
Aye.
It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying.
It's like the
But-
whole thing last season where it was, well, you're gonna have Mitrovic or Rafa. Why can't I have both? Like, why can't Rafa like just start playing in formation to do what Mitrovic is best at doing, what we know he was best at doing when he brought in? And it's the same thing now. If you slate Rafa, people seem to think, oh well, who else are we gonna get? I'm not saying sack him. I'm just saying that he's got to move on.
But then people will put something like Rafa's not the problem. I think someone put Rafa's not the problem. I can't remember who it was, but Rafa's not the problem. And then put a picture of everything he's won at every club that he's been at. And I just think, well, I'm not saying he's the problem, but he is currently part of what the problem is at the moment. So you can't just keep saying, oh, he's won all these trophies. You go to every game, watch a shit version of 90 minutes, see one shot and talk, and then go home and think, I'm just going to have a sit and look at Rafa's CV. You don't know, do you?
No,
you don't
of course
sit and think, I'm going to go back home and look at his CV. You think, fuck me, that was shite.
Yeah.
I've just sat and watched 90 minutes of that. He's played the same team
Same
week in, week out.
substitutions.
He's doing the same substitutions. You can't not get criticism. And if you aren't going to criticise him, then personally, in my opinion, I think you're fucking deluded. And it's just on a basis that you're thinking it is just a hope thing. You're hoping that one
Do you
day
think-
it's going to turn round.
The hatred for Ashley, and rightly so, every single fan wants the same thing in regards to Ashley getting shot of the club and selling it on. But you think the anger is focused at Ashley, like you say, Rafa does something that you don't agree with. You can't comment on it because it's Ashley's fault. Ashley, I appreciate Ashley's giving the money to spend on these players, but he didn't make that substitution. And I'm not defending him whatsoever, because people turn around and know what
Ashley's the main problem.
Ashley.
That every Newcastle fan knows Mike Ashley is the main problem. That we're not where we should be. Because at the end of the day, he's the man who fucking gives the money to the manager at the end of the day. But like I say, like you just said there, Rafa at the end of the day picks the team, makes the changes, he's the sub, so he has to take part of the blame.
Can you imagine any other manager?
I'll be fucking hell on.
I keep coming back to McLaren. I always say McLaren for some reason. You imagine like Kennedy's performances last season, right? So let's say McLaren was manager then, and Kennedy's doing what he's doing. We should sign him. We should spend 30 million on him. It's great, blah blah. Then he gets him now, and then that's his performances. He would be getting questioned how he's not getting the best out of that player. Players used to get slagged for that all the time about not getting the best out of the players. So you would say there's a lot of players I'm saying are a shadow of the player that I think they can be personally. I'm not saying all of them, but there's a few of them that do shock us a bit, like, and as you're saying, he has to take some criticism. Why on earth? He never changed formation. He never changes the lineup. His subs are far too late. They just are. That's fact. And I didn't fuck who it is. I didn't care if it was Nigel Pearson, Kinnear, Keegan, or Rafa. It's shite. No. It's shite. I'm gone and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking.
I think majority of people probably agree with what we're saying, but for some reason people are scared to criticise him.
Look when we went down the first time with Houghton. He lost the majority of his main team. He lost like Martins, Viduka, Owen, obviously mercenaries who didn't want to be there. But obviously then he was quite fortunate to have the likes of Joey Barton, Kevin Nolan, leaders in the team who took the scruff by the neck and said, if you don't want to be in this change room, fucking get out. It was like a pre-season friendly, wasn't it, or something like that. They got beat 6-0 or something. And then they says, everyone fucking, if you didn't want to be here, fuck off. And I think it was like Basong and that had left the fucking changing room. And I think from then, he wasn't given any investment from what I remember in the Championship.
I can't remember saying anyone except Wayne Routledge.
Not from when Rafa went down and was getting. I know obviously we lost a few players then, but like Sissoko's, Wijnaldum's, but we were still getting Richie and Gale.
Yeah,
he was still getting that investment there.
I mean,
but even when we came back, under Houghton, did he get any investment that first season?
He didn't know. In the season when he left eventually, there was I was there because I went to West Brom away. People were calling for Houghton because we got beat off West Brom 3-0 away, and people were like, "That's it, like he's like get rid of him," and we did. You had a big people weren't happy, but there was some fans calling for him because we were losing games. We were losing games of football, and it's the same now. Now, obviously, nobody wants Rafa to go. Of course, we don't. But how you, as you were saying, how can you go to the game and watch that and go, that's all Ashley's fault, it's not his fault?
Aye.
You can't do that.
You can't do
that. So you're going to lose every game this season. And it's none of it's Rafa's fault, though. No, it is. Like I'm sorry. There comes a time where it is. And I'm talking about little things like even like the substitution, that shit, or even the tactics I'm seeing. The way that he sets his team up week after week after week, sometimes I do question that.
I'd like to know with some fans as well that obviously it's 7 games without a win. When does it become a Rafa issue for them fans who are saying it's not at the moment? Does it ever become one? If we go the next 7 games without a win, is it still a case that it's Ashley and it's nothing to do with Rafa?
Our fans are so blinded by hatred.
They are, and they would hate it. I think a lot of fans hate to be proven wrong in there. Yeah. So even I think if you inside they'll be like, I'm fucking wrong here, but they'll not admit that.
It's because they feel as if as soon as they slate Rafa a little bit or criticise him, they feel as if they're going to take a step into the Ashley camp. And it's not the case. I think.
But you do know if it's the other way around. Say if we're in the next 7 games we don't lose, you know it'll be the people. Oh, remember them people who were doubting Rafa and all this and
oh my
this.
God, it'll be.
The thing is, I don't think anyone's doubting his capabilities.
No, not at all.
We're just questioning some of them. That's
just questioning some of the stuff that he does and why he's not making the change.
Every single manager in the past, we've done it with every single manager. The only difference is we've got some absolute arsehole that owns.
Bobby Robson used to make 3 substitutions every game. He used to make 3 substitutions at the same time, and it always used to be the same 3, and everyone used to go like, why does he always do it? And like, you question that, and that's one of the best managers that you've ever had.
Not so long ago, Paul, with the whole left-back things, he was criticised with left-backs every time. Every manager has something where they're criticised for, and that's how football works. Football's all about opinions. You can't just agree with what a manager does because they're the owner of a football club, and once again, we all want the same thing, we want Ashley gone, but we're allowed to disagree with the decision made in that 90 minutes of play.
Absolutely.
That's what we're there for. We're fans. We're there to to support the team, but we're also
What did you
there
think?
having
What did you
opinions.
think of people booing when Richie went off?
I didn't boo, but I was quite angry at it.
Can you understand
It's
people booing,
disappointing.
or would you say it's a case that you shouldn't really be booing because of it's not in confidence whoever's coming on?
It's
I think
a
that
sign
the-
of frustration. So
Aye.
everyone's
The game
It is.
the
Like,
game
do
was
whatever they want.
just so shit. The game was so bad, right?
got to get like some like form of emotion out of
And
it.
I just think that was almost. What's the saying? Straw that brought the camel's back. Like it was as if
Oh,
this
I
is
think
so
that-
bad, and then he's finally making a substitution, which is quite early for him. Actually, I thought it was, and he pulls him off. And even I was like, "Fucking hell!" Even I couldn't believe it. I was really shocked because I couldn't believe Perez was still on the pitch because I thought Perez was by far the worst
Do you
player.
think if this continues, and like we say, Richie's normally the first one off every week, do you think this continues? I think Richie will probably be the first one to go in January. I think he'll just hand a transfer request in because I honestly think he'll probably just be sick of it. Like, look at his frustration when he goes off the
I
pitch
heard he
every
was,
single game.
I heard that
He's
he was
not happy.
fucking livid after the game.
He's not happy, is he?
Well, I wouldn't be either. None of them should be happy. That's the thing.
That's the-
That's the thing. None of them should be happy. Really.
But if
If
you
I
think
was
of
the
it-
sales, I'd be having around mine saying, "Let's fucking sort
If you
this
think of
out."
it from Richie's point of view, there's been games where Kennedy stayed on the pitch, Richie's gone off. And like you look at it the weekend, Atu stays on the pitch. Richie must be thinking, why the fuck am I getting took off when they're not doing fucking anything either? That
I
would be
agree.
the difference for me.
agree.
If I was Richie, I'd be feeling sorry for myself.
Aye, no, it's fair enough.
Right,
Like.
it is fair. It is totally fair. I mean, hey man, I'll tell you something else that pisses me off a lot. Perez fucking coming off.
You got a list on it.
Perez actually coming off the field.
Oh fuck it! I forgot about that.
We weren't winning 3-0.
Did you see that?
No.
He
walked
literally
off,
walked off, and we were trying to
walked.
make. I changed it. I went by the corner. I don't know, but and he brought Perez off, and he literally just jogged
Just
off
walked.
as if we were
As if we
wasting
weren't winning.
time. And the fans weren't like. And then it was Rafa, I think, went like, "Come on, you need to get off the field, like, do you know what I mean? Because they're going to have you here." And it was just gradually seeing him walking. People got murmurs were like, "Fucking take his time, innit?" And then it went from that to just
Nah, like how
get off
fucking
that
get
Do you know
field.
what it is? Do you know like when players like they don't have to physically high five the other player, do they? It's like it's not a relay race, is it? He could just go off that pitch wherever the fuck you wanted, couldn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course he
yeah.
could. Aye.
Why did he just fucking walk off?
Yeah, well-
Like, why have they got to go that direction?
Because his intelligence is that. He's thick as fuck, man. He's
Is that
thick
way
as
around?
shite. He's
If
thick
you
as
think was it
shite.
that way around, if you think was Mutu getting took off and Perez coming on, I guarantee you Mutu fucking sprints off that pitch.
Oh,
I
aye,
guarantee
aye.
you.
Oh, aye, 100%.
He was strolling off.
How is he not getting a start though? Like, be realistic, right? How is he not
He
getting
got the start against
in the
Forest,
cup?
in the
Forest,
cup.
right? It was the worst.
everyone was dog shit.
Aye,
And
because-
that game was dog shit to bring somebody in for the first match. Cup games, especially when we're writing off cups. Let's
And
be
two
honest.
youngsters that are also starting the team
Yeah,
for Longstaff.
exactly.
Fucking outclassed by him, didn't we?
Did I put it?
Outplayed.
But
by
why
him.
he's, like you say, why he's not starting a game
Yeah, unreal.
is just amazing. Like, because what is starting isn't working. So,
Exactly. That's the work all season.
and it's not like he's just some young kid who you're trying to bring through the ranks and
No,
kind
he's
of
an
develop.
experienced player.
He's supposed to be an experienced international player who
That you
was
brought
playing.
in.
Yeah,
Whether
that
you're
he
10th
brought
or
in.
11th
Yeah,
on the list, you brought
Yeah.
him in. You've brought him in.
You've brought him in on the basis that you're saying he's a good player. He's been
Absolutely.
scouted by somebody, whether it's Rafa or whoever the scout
thing
is.
is with
Someone's
Perez,
watched him and said he's good enough to be in that team.
Just to
So
say
why
on the
can't he
offensive bit,
start?
Perez will go through 5 games where it's absolute shite. In the next 5 games, he'll start scoring last minute winners. But I just
You probably
can't
will, but you
see-
can't just sit there and wait
No, you
for him
can't.
to start.
I just can't see the effort this season from him. I can't see it.
You'll probably see. You know what? It is? You'll probably see more effort from him when he gets dropped and he comes on.
We've sort of said
But
it
it's
all
just
along.
it's just a case
Perez
that
will be
he's not
impact
getting
sub.
dropped.
We've said it all along.
I actually think sometimes it's an impact you could even put on the left sometimes, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I just feel as an impact player, but it might send the shivers down a bit to think, fuck, I'm not getting a game, I need to play more, as you said before. Maybe he's just thinking, well, I'll be playing next week anyway. So
No.
I'm not necessarily saying he's sitting there thinking that, but
My favourite thing was on
he needs to be
social
dropped
media.
to get his fire back a
A
bit.
few days beforehand, he had done like a promo for Adidas. Him and Joslu been doing like something for them. Like, he had these new boots and said the hashtag was something to do like speed or something like that. So everyone's just started replying to him now saying, "Well, fucking where was that when you were going off the pitch?"
Like when on the field, he runs like he's got fucking bricks for shoes. He's shite, man. He's shite. They're all hopeless. They're all fucking shite. Shelby was shit. Shelby was absolutely awful.
Hollywood, he tried to
He
do
was
Hollywood
awful.
Shelby, wasn't he?
Awful. Honestly, awful.
And that means a lot come from you.
And he was, and because I try to just call what I see, and if someone's good, they're good, and if they're shit, they're shit. And Shelby was awful. The amount of times he lost the ball, awful. But again, though, and what did I say? Everyone was happy when Shelby came back, and I was as well. But I said, if he does not have the players that are moving around to create, he'll find you. But every time he looked up, all you had to do was shoot from the halfway line, or it's a Hollywood ball, because the only real option I had was Joselu. And I counted in the second half, for a period of time, the amount of passes we actually made, and I didn't get off one hand. Yeah, I got a 3 long ball, 4 long ball. I never got off one hand, and I kept saying, I said, that's 4, 2, 4. And he was like, stop that because you're annoying us. And I was like, aye, but this is annoying us. This is annoying us.
That was just someone next to him.
Honestly, I was going 1, 2, long. It was like, that's ridiculous for a Premier League football team, man. And imagine if that was Big Sam. Oh, this is long ball, negative shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you've got the best manager ever, apparently. Fucking 3 passes and it's a long ball. Fuck off. Shite, man. Shite.
You're really wound up now, aren't you?
I do it to myself as well, you know.
I know.
You shouldn't have to say anything. I just
winds himself up.
Get the eye, but if people aren't feeling the way I'm feeling, then there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, that's
if you're not feeling how I'm feeling, because it's just shit.
I bet he's sent in massively, hasn't it? Like everyone's just drained. I think it's just pure drained. Like I don't think there's much anger there anymore. Apart from you.
There was 2 minutes ago, but no. But it's different because I left the game. On Saturday, and I didn't feel like this. I just felt just a bit disillusioned, a bit like, what the fuck am I even coming for? Like, you know what I mean? Like, not angry.
It feels more like a chore, doesn't it? And things like that.
God,
when it gets to the stage like that, it's bad.
But I don't want to be the glory hunter where I'll only go when we're winning or when it's all good. Do you know? Because then it's a tough one with me. That, like, you know, because anyone could go now. It's shite. I hate it. And then when we start winning a few games or a takeover did happen, and then all of a sudden you start going back. Yeah. People will be like, well, you're only gone because it's a successful time.
And you
know
could,
what I mean?
Well, then you could turn around. Go on YouTube. I sat here every Monday and slated the while. I've got a good one. Would you
rather be in the championship winning? Or this?
Championship winning?
Would you?
Yeah, probably.
It's a tough one, isn't it? I sat in the house on my hand, like, just thinking about it. I was like, at least I was coming.
Hasn't left him, by the way.
I was coming home with a bit of a smile, like, you know what I mean. I was coming home going, hey, we're good there, and we're scored. You won every home game, you know what I mean, and well, nearly every home game.
So Mark Douglas tweeted out after the game. It was on Saturday night there. Just basically a few numbers in regards to Newcastle this season. So 4 goals all season. Not ahead for a single minute yet in any competition. So we've never been winning the game. Right? Least amount of shots in the Premier League.
That's not a shock.
Second least amount of passes. But that was only because Cardiff hadn't played their game.
Eh?
So Cardiff hadn't even played
their
because
it was alright.
So we had a game.
So it is just now then. Basically.
We only made 14 total that game anyway.
And we've never had any more than 49% possession in any game.
Now, what I'll throw to you then,
that doesn't shock us, that one.
What I'll throw to you is think of them stats, right? The team that we have, do you think they're better than that?
Yes.
Because I do.
Yes.
Yeah, of course they are.
I honestly do. No. Because there'll be people out there going, we're shite, we've got any players, they're rubbish. We are better than that. We have to.
We're better than four goals.
Oh my.
I know we've had some bad teams.
We're much better than that.
We've had some bad teams to play with. I appreciate that. But we've never been ahead for a single minute.
That's terrible. I'm sorry, that's
and that's in all competitions. Like, I know we only had the one cup game, but it was Forest. And yes, we spent more money with all that shite, but
bollocks, man.
We should still
man.
We should still be playing better than
absolute that. Bollocks. Yeah. Hey, if flip it then. So we had Forest team squad, and then Forest had us, like our team. We would be expecting to get. I think we'd get hammered. If I seen Kennedy's and all that shite and Rondon's and all that, I'd be like, oh, what nature?
Is that because the team was good enough to win that game?
Oh God, was it?
Do you think this is just toxic, like from top to bottom, though? Like.
There's
everything about the club right now is something not right.
I just don't understand what's happened. It's just a massive spin round from last season.
Do you think?
I remember games last season, especially coming out with things like the Arsenal game and Man United games and things like that, and you were thinking, "Fuck me, man! I love every player on the pitch. Everything's great. Like obviously the owner wasn't, but love Rafa, love the team. We're playing so well. Fucking we went behind against Arsenal. And you thought, even when we went behind, you thought we're still in this game. You end up winning it 2-1. I just don't understand why it's gone full circle. Whether it's negativity coming from,
it's from everywhere, isn't it?
It's everywhere, isn't it?
From the core, isn't it? It's we're rotten from the core.
Every angle you look at it right now, you just can't see any light at the end of the tunnel, can you?
I can't. Like,
apart from a takeover, which I don't think will happen anyway. And I don't want to be like. So, like,
there's a question for you. I mean, bit of a fucking ridiculous one, but if the takeover didn't happen, if this was just bullshit as well, would you still want Rafa in charge?
Oh, aye. Oh, sorry. If it doesn't happen, sorry.
If it doesn't
happen. Oh, yeah. I'll keep going and criticising. But I can't. I will be honest. I don't know who I would rather have. That's what I'm struggling with.
Do you not think? I can see where he's coming from. Do you not think there's going to be a manager out there that's better at getting more from a team of less players? I know Rafa does really well.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that Rafa is a great manager, but he's a good manager with a good side.
But last season he has proved that he can do it.
From last season,
he did do it.
Maybe it is just a case of obviously the 7 games that I've seen this season. Maybe it's just going from that. But
I'm with you.
I just think if we're at such a shit level with such a shit vast amount of players, maybe we just need a shit manager.
Now, I don't think the team hasn't changed much. And you look at the team
just
now,
fucking be done with it.
There's nothing there in regards to teamwork and effort for each other. What was that game last season where he crunching everyone?
Leicester.
Was Leicester?
But that had come after a run of successful wins.
No, but
you know what I mean?
There's no fight for each other at the moment. I can't see it.
Because
no, it's not.
I still feel.
Is that a confidence thing again, though?
Of course it is.
Probably.
I shouldn't quote him. No, I'm not going to quote him because I get that. No, I'm not going to quote him. But I've played football, right? At a decent level. You've played football, right? If you imagine that you were playing for us now, right, and you go on that field, I reckon the mindset of them players are, if we concede first, we're beat.
Fucked.
Because you haven't got that feeling of like, well, we'll always got a chance of scoring. Do you know what I mean? You've got a different mindset of the game then when you think, we can score here like at any time in the game because we've got the quality. I think we're going on the pitch now thinking the best we've probably got to 0-0. And that's shit, that man. Well, if we're like that, but the players will be like that. And that instantly makes you a negative player.
Well, that's what I was saying from before, like when you're playing the games like Chelsea and things like that, and you're going into that game to say, right, let's try and hold out for a 0-0. Because that's kind of what they were looking to do.
God,
or basically keep the score down.
Yeah.
How you can reverse that into the next game and say, right, let's be positive in this game.
Well, I've said that a few weeks ago.
Doesn't happen.
I think that your players forget, and that sounds silly to say, they forget how to go forward when you want them to be so negative as they have been, and all of a sudden
to just switch into
right
positive.
now I want you to take everybody on score. I just feel sometimes you lose that. You just lose it. Do you know what I mean? Because you've just been so negative for so long. But and as far as the next win's coming from, I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. I hope the shot was in the win.
So after the game, me and Mark went and done a few interviews with fans. The first time we've ever done it. I don't think we'll do it anytime soon again. What a good laugh doing it, to be honest.
Well,
it's something
just people shouting in the background or something.
It's something which we've never really thought we'd do. We've always left that other people to do because I like going to the pub, to be honest with you.
It's a shame you never got that kid in the glasses, to be fair. Like.
I'm finding him next time we do it. It's probably something we'll probably do a handful of times throughout the season because it was a good laugh.
I'll do the next one. I couldn't make that one. So.
I think we'll have to upgrade our equipment, like, because none of our equipment worked, apart from the phone, which died halfway through. So
fucking him and batteries.
I know, constant with batteries. But what interviewing people, one of the questions was, when's the next win going to come from? Where's it going to come from?
Could come at any time, couldn't it, really?
No idea.
I couldn't even win on FIFA, man. I was I went in and tried to cheer myself up. I haven't got beat on that now.
What formation did you play, though?
I tried 3-5-2, like.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I was in it for long periods. Like, it's a dream, that formation.
I was in it for long periods to keep a FIFA, man.
I had shots. No, I'm just kidding. I'm only joking.
Shall we call it a night then on this one?
Yeah, it's terrible. Sorry, it's just terrible. Well, you can't even be positive. That's the problem, isn't it? I
feel sorry for anyone else listening to this.
They didn't want to fucking listen to us just being negative as fuck. You know what I mean? They're probably going to work.
They're probably doing the same thing.
They're on their way to work already negative and then listen to us and think, fucking hell.
Fuck me, like, doom and gloom.
How bad's this? You know what I mean? But how can you be positive? You're just deluding everyone if you try to be positive. So
it needs a win. Get a win.
It does need
from there.
Needs a takeover. That's what it needs.
Fucking it needs that as well.
Just needs a goal.
Yeah. Yeah, a goal, would be lovely, wouldn't
just
it?
Just need to be ahead in the game.
God. We might nick a win against Man United.
Nick one. Right, everyone, thanks for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Sorry.
Sorry.